Who owns culture? Reflections from a life at the cultural borders. Who owns culture? As an ethnic Korean born in China and currently living in Japan, this question is not just a matter of theory. It touches the core of my identity. One day, I came across a headline in the news. Stone Pot Bibimbap has been listed as an intangible cultural heritage of China. In South Korea, this sparked backlash. Some voices accused China of stealing Korean culture. Reading those reactions, a quiet unease stirred inside me, a ripple across the surface of something deeper. What is culture, really? Who preserves it? Who carries it forward? These questions, though often politicized, are in fact deeply personal, and I want to explore them through the lens of memory and everyday life. One, a question of cultural belonging. To me, the news that Stone Pot Bibimbap had been registered as an intangible cultural heritage representing Chinese Koreans was something to celebrate, a source of pride. But in South Korea, some branded it as cultural appropriation. Online, harsh comments spread. Joseonjok ethnic Koreans in China are not the same as us. They're just Chinese people who speak Korean. I won't lie, it made me feeling both confused and hurt. But I know this much. The culture of the Joseonjok is neither a shadow of Korean culture nor a mere imitation. It is rooted in the lived experiences of those who have made a life on this land. It holds the time, breath, and memory of our people. A steaming bowl of Pot Bibimbap is more than just a meal. It's a vessel of memory, a trace of lives built and passed on in a new home. It tells a story of where we've settled, how we've lived, and the path we've walked. Two, culture is not possession, but passage. Is cultural heritage really about asking who owns it? Or is its meaning found in how it is lived and passed down? Traditions and habits, language and songs, flavors and manners. These are where culture breathes, where it stays alive through daily life. In Japan, Ainu culture has been registered as intangible cultural heritage. The government has invested in preserving it, not just as history, but as a living culture rooted in that land. In China, there are 56 recognized ethnic groups, each with cultural traditions protected within the national system. The Korean Chinese, Joseonjok, are just one among them. But the fact that our culture is acknowledged and allowed to carry on is something I believe we should be glad for. Three, Joseonjok culture, heritage across borders. I was born and raised in the Yanbian Korean Autonomous Prefecture. At home, dishes like kimchi and bibimbap were a natural part of our daily meals. During holidays or family celebrations, we made rice cakes and cooked seaweed soup. At school, classes were taught in Korean. Back home, the television played Chinese programs. I also loved Korean dramas and music. This is the layered, multilingual, multicultural world I grew up in, and it's still the way I live today. And it's not just Pot Bibimbap. Take Yanbian cold noodles or Yanbian sundae, Korean-style blood sausage. They may resemble similar dishes in Korea, but here they've developed their own unique flavors and forms. The clear, refreshing broth of cold noodles on a hot summer day, the chewy texture of sundae, the homemade dipping sauces that vary from household to household. These aren't just tastes, but expressions of daily life, shaped by local hands and shared histories. Culture is not about faithfully replicating what was handed down. It is something that breathes, evolving with the land and time it lives in. What we've cultivated is neither imitation nor borrowing. It is ours. It is our culture. For Pride and Exclusion in South Korea. I can fully understand why South Korea holds such strong pride in preserving its culture, especially given its history of colonization and war. The global success of K-pop, cinema, and cutting-edge technology today has only further reinforced this sense of cultural confidence. But at times, I feel a quiet pain when I hear voices that so easily exclude those of us with the same roots, saying things like, "They're not one of us. That's not ours." We are neither pure Koreans, nor simply just Chinese. As Korean Chinese, Joseonjok, we live at the borderlines of nations, languages, and histories, carrying with us a culture and identity that are distinctly our own. Perhaps now, more than ever, we need a broader and deeper gaze, one that can see and respect these kinds of in-between existences. 5. Culture as a shared legacy for the future. Culture has never belonged to just one nation or one people. It flows across borders, through time, transforming and blending as it goes. Take Confucianism, for example. Though it originated in China, perhaps today it is South Korea that most deeply embodies its spirit. What matters is not who had it first, but how it is preserved, how it continues to breathe. The same holds true for Joseonjok culture. We have lived across spaces: China, the Korean Peninsula, and Japan. And in these overlapping worlds, we have nurtured our own language, food, and customs. These are not mere copies or borrowed fragments. They are our living stories, our memories made real. Language, food, rituals. They are not simply traditions to be displayed. They are ways of life, carried day by day and passed on to the next generation. Culture does not belong to anyone. It belongs to everyone who lives it. It is not a possession. It is something that moves with life and continues naturally from one person to another. I hope for a future where we can protect our cultures together, nurture them together, and take pride in them together.